and we will ascend together.
If you've played a Command & Conquer game before, you'll probably be surprised the high-energy real-time strategy has been replaced by a tactical kind of game more akin to Dawn of War 2. No base building, smaller control groups, and a focus on team tactics over traditional strategizing. Online play and computer skirmishes can be fun, but aren't consistently so. And the campaign is really straightforward and boring in spite of how well actor Joe Q can choose up the scenery as Brotherhood of Nod leader Kane. Command & Conquer 4 isn't bad, and a system of persistent unlocks will keep you engaged for a short time. But this is supposedly the last CNC game featuring Kane, and this isn't the explosive send-off he deserved.
Relax. Relax. That's the only way to guarantee your safety.
Focus on online play is immediately apparent. Even if you're in it to see how the story plays out, you're gonna need to be online and sign on through Electronic Arts' online portal. You enter a chat channel from the moment you start and can invite other players to parties from there if you want. The online requirement is part of an unreasonable but growing trend for PC games, an unfriendly way of approaching copy protection. But at least there's an attempt here to give the game an ongoing sense of community. You're always connected to other players, and there's a system of persistent experience, achievements, and unlocks that spans every mode. And that leveling is perhaps the game's most interesting feature. Whether you're playing a campaign mission, a match against the AI, or an online match, you earn experience. As you level up, you unlock new units and powers and whatnot. So if you're interested in the online, be aware that you won't have access to every unit right off the bat. This is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you get that urge to push forward so that you can unlock cool units like the Avatar or the Mastodon. On the other, you might find yourself in unbalanced matches against players that have access to higher-tier units that you can't effectively counter. If you're hosting a custom match, there's no way to limit players to a certain level cap. But the online play is at least enjoyable. Maps are set up for 5 versus 5, one team of GDI players and one team of Nod. Before a match begins, you select one of 3 roles: offense, defense, or support. If you like rolling over the opposition on the ground, go with offense, since that's where you'll find all the tanks like scorpions and mammoths. Defense grants you infantry and turrets, and support is all about aircraft and healing. When you choose your role, you drop your assigned walker onto the map. Walkers are mobile bases, though if you lose one, it isn't game over or anything. You just summon another one down to a spawn zone after a short wait. And dismissing your walker to summon down a different type is actually a valid strategy. From here, your team tries to dominate the map by capturing towers. The more towers you capture, the faster you accumulate points. The team to reach the point limit is the winner. It can be fun, particularly when things come down to the wire and when teams click together really well. Beating good players means exploiting the rock, paper, scissors relationships of your units and micromanaging your special abilities. You also need to grab scattered Tiberian crystals and bring them back to a spawn zone to gain access to your upgrades, better units, and better powers. But it isn't as exciting as it sounds. A preset pool of command points limits your unit cap, the camera stays close to the battlefield even at maximum zoom, and the maps aren't that huge, it's just that units are comparatively slow even after a speed upgrade. Tiberian Twilight might take cues from Dawn of War 2 and World in Conflict, and it is fun, but it doesn't capture the excitement and sense of controlled chaos of those games. At least the famous live-action cutscenes give some of that Command & Conquer vibe. The story seems to take itself a bit more seriously in the final outing. The lighting is darker, the soundtrack is more overpowering, and the sets look less low budget than before. The campaign is set up in an interesting way too. As the nameless commander, you choose a path after a few missions and side either with Nod or GDI. You can then return to the other side and see how things play out from the other perspective. Sadly, even a few story twists and some of the usual hammy acting can't make the campaign exciting. Missions generally, but not always, involve moving a single control group around from one objective to the next, or if you play cooperatively, 2 players moving around their single control groups around. The missions are sort of short and there aren't many of them to begin with, and the ending, well, let's just say that the ending doesn't do the series proud. That doesn't mean you shouldn't play Command & Conquer 4. It's still fun, though hardly the best in its class. Online play is enjoyable when balance issues don't make things lopsided, and the game looks and sounds quite good. But the tepid campaign and limited sense of excitement make this an unusually modest installment in the series, and a disappointing way to end Kane's story. You'll enjoy Tiberian Twilight for what it is, but you'll also wish that it was something more.